to our reorganization meeting, and be a few things that are a little different than have gone on before. First of all, I'd like to welcome everybody here today, and there's some new players here that we should kind of introduce so you know who they are. This is our new town clerk, Kelly Allegra. Over here we have two new council persons, Sylvia Santiago and Stephen Bedetti, and my new secretary, Katrina Rappa. And we know Andrew Riggenbaum and Steve Barrow from before. And over here we have Dave Zagon, our town attorney, Chief Robert Doss, and Anthony Feo, our highway superintendent. So, when we have any public comment, there'll be a couple of periods where you can make public comment. You need to come up to the microphone, state your name for the record, and make your comment. All right, we keep the comments, I think they talk about 3 minutes, so we don't want to go on and on. Is Steve Wachowski here? You are here. Nice to see you. Well, the first item on the agenda is a public hearing. It's a proposed amendment to Chapter 300 of Town Code, Town of Windsor, to allow mini warehouses by special permit in the neighborhood commercial zone, which creates a little bit of an issue for us. So, before I open it up to the public for any comment, Steve, do you want to make a comment? You good? Okay. Anybody in the public want to comment about this particular issue? It's changing zoning so something can fit into it. The planning board recommended that it not happen. So we have that. So, hearing, no comment. We'll close the public hearing and I'll make them, oh, somebody wants to speak. Who?
I wanted to ask if someone could present what is meant by this proposal.
Yeah, okay. Sandra, next time you need to step up to the microphone. Okay? Okay, so the proposal was simply to change the zoning so mini warehouses could fit in. And if we did that, it would affect zoning in other areas where they wouldn't fit in. So we always ask the planning board for their opinion. The planning board came back with an opinion that this should not be passed. So the town board has looked at that, and then you have to have a public hearing. Steve actually sent me an email today that he wanted to withdraw this. But it was too late, it was advertised and we had to have the hearing. So it just kind of like a formality to have it. He's withdrawn it actually, but by the time we advertised it, we had to hold a hearing. So that's what happened. That's all it's about. So, Chair will entertain a motion to declare a negative declaration, adopt the amendment. Excuse me?
I have a follow-up question.
You going to the microphone?
Yes, I have.
Okay, go ahead.
Sandra Cassam, what is a mini warehouse?
Just like those storage sheds where you walk in and people use them to store their property when they don't have any room in their house, that kind of thing.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought I probably should have described what it was. Okay, that being said, Chair will entertain a motion to declare a negative declaration, adopt amendment to the Chapter 300 zoning of the Town Code of the Town of New Windsor for the Mid-Hudson 2 Holding Company Incorporated, Excalibur 7 Inc.
George?
Yes.
I'm sorry, but before you do that, can you entertain a motion to close?
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah. Entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Riggenbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Monroe?
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti?
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago?
Yes.
And Supervisor Myers?
Yes. And I'm a little out of practice, Dave, so keep an eye on me. Okay, Chair will entertain a motion to declare a negative declaration, adopt the amendment to Chapter 300 zoning of the Town Code, Town of New Windsor, Mid-Hudson Holding Company, Inc., Excalibur 7 Inc.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Riggenbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Monroe?
No.
Councilman Bedetti?
No.
Councilwoman Santiago?
No.
Supervisor Myers?
No. But that's okay. We're fine, so let's put to bed. All right, so Steve, we'll talk again and you can kind of go to planning board. We actually want to work with you, but to get something that fits in there, and we'll make sure that that happens.
Thank you.
So where's the next one? It's the minutes. Two. The Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, adopt the attached rules and procedure of 2020 pursuant to Section 43 of the Town Law town clerk be authorized to publish all 2020 town board meeting dates pursuant to Freedom of Information Law, Public Officers Law, and Article 7.
Move.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Rodovan?
Yes.
Councilman Monroe?
Yes.
Councilman Bizetti?
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago?
Yes.
Supervisor Myers?
Yes. Okay, I guess the next item on the agenda is comments are allowed on agenda items only. Speakers permitted to speak for 3 minutes. This is strictly for comments. No Q&A or discussion will be allowed. So I guess this is where anybody wants to comment on this 80 number agenda that we have. I defy you to read it. Sir.
Good evening, Mr. Supervisor, members of the board. My name is Mark Taylor. I'm an attorney with the firm of Ryder, Weiner, and Frankel. Our offices are here in Windsor, and I'm here to comment on item 18, which is a proposal the town board is considering scheduling a public hearing on. I'm here on behalf of Banta Holdings. Banta Holdings is another long-time property owner and business owner in the town. I'm sure you're all familiar with their restaurant site on Route 300, which is currently vacant. They have an application before the planning board, which was submitted in 2017. And I'm sure you're familiar with that as well. The link to the draft environmental impact statement is on your webpage. They've proceeded diligently with that application for over 2 years. Draft environmental impact statement was prepared and filed and accepted. Public hearing was held. The environmental impact statement did address water and sewer capacity of the town and was reviewed by the town's consulting engineers and accepted. On October 9th of this year, the planning board voted to accept the final environmental impact statement on the project. Now, the secret regulations provide that where there's an applicant, the lead agency must file its findings and adopt and act on the application, which are approved or disapproved within 30 days of the filing of the final environmental impact statement. We are now at 90 days past the board's action without its having done so. In light of those circumstances, I'm asking that the board consider within its moratorium provision for either a waiver or an exemption for projects which are proposing to redevelop sites that already have sewer and water connections. The restaurant building is there and has those, and which would have received a decision had the town acted administratively within the time periods established by applicable regulations and law.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Anybody else? Miss?
Hello, good evening. My name is Anita Joseph, and I would like to comment on item number 6, which is the deed for Highview Estates of Orange, Inc. and the dedication of Family Drive. It's number 6.
Okay.
So my comment is that, and it's more of like a plea, because I'm a new resident, have been here for almost 3 years and we still haven't received mail. And for some that may not be a big deal, for us, we're just looking to try to get a resolution, hopefully to speed up the process of fully dedicating the road. You know, I know that they'll be going back and forth with trying to get this resolved, but we definitely would like to just get some mail within our.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Is anybody else? Do we need to close this, Dave? Public
Yeah.
comment? Yeah?
Yeah.
Chair will entertain a motion to close this portion of the public comments.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Riggenbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Monroe?
Yes.
Councilman Vizetti?
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago?
Yes.
Supervisor Myers?
Yes. Okay, Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, approve the minutes of the public hearing regarding the repeal of local law number 1, 2019, and the minutes of the Town Board meeting, each held on December 4th, 2019, as per copies posted in Town Clerk's Bulletin Board and Town Hall, and same distributed to each Town Board member.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Riggenbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Monroe?
Yes.
Councilman Vizetti?
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago?
Yes.
Supervisor Myers?
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, authorize the highway superintendent to make necessary purchases of small tools and equipment not to exceed $500 per purchase without prior Town Board approval pursuant to New York State Highway Law 142(1)(a).
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Riggenbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Monroe?
Yes.
Councilman Vizetti?
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago?
Yes.
Supervisor Myers?
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of New Windsor, approve the appointment of Anthony Feo as supervisor of refuse and garbage and set salary $22,000 for the year 2020.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Riggenbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Monroe?
Yes.
Councilman Vizetti?
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago?
Yes.
Supervisor Myers?
Yes. Hearing no objection, Town Board, Town of Windsor, receive and file the attached irrevocable offer of dedication from Highview Estates of Orange, Inc. to Town of New Windsor, dated November 21st, 2019, and record in Orange County Clerk's Office on the 27th day of November, 2019, and leave of 14662 at page 1382 for dedication of Hill Road Extension in Highview of Orange County, Inc. subdivision. That's for just to receive and file, so it needs no board action. Another receive and file. Hearing no objection, Town Board, Town of Windsor, receive and file the attached bargain and sale deed from Highview Estates of Orange, Inc. to Town of New Windsor, dated November 7th, 2019, and recorded in the Orange County Clerk's Office on the 26th day of November, 2019, and leave of 14662 at page 933 for dedication of Finley Drive, Ashley Court, Ridgewood Drive, 3 drainage parcels and 2 drainage easements at the Rockawicki subdivision. Another receive and file. Hearing no objection, Town Board, Town of Windsor, receive and file the attached title policy, certain number, issued by Chicago Title Insurance Company and dated November 20, 2019, for dedication of Finley Drive, Ashley Court, Ridgewood Drive, along with 3 drainage parcels and 2 drainage easements in the Rockawicki subdivision. Another receive and file. Hearing no objection, Town Board, Town of Windsor shall receive and file with the town clerk the attached permit bond submitted to Black Rock Excavating Corp. of 22 Vitey Drive, Salisbury Mills, New York, in the amount of $20,000, effective July 30th, 2019 through July 30th, 2020. The purpose of the permit bond is to secure a permit from the Town of New Windsor to perform street opening with the town, same being referred to the town attorney and town highway superintendent. Another receive and file. Hearing no objection, the Town Board, Town of New Windsor, receive and file continuation certificate for permit number B158063, dated September 6th, 2019, submitted by Spagnoli Excavating and Sons, Incorporated, 47 South Plank Road, Newburgh, New York, effective December 5th, 2019 through December 5th, 2020, in the amount of $20,000 to secure a permit from the Town of New Windsor to perform street openings within the town, same being referred to the town attorney and town highway superintendent. We get these guys to post these bonds in case they do some damage to our road, and we just have the money, we call it in. Okay, Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of New Windsor. Whereas the current water consumption for the rate of Town of New Windsor is $6.50 per 100 cubic feet, or $8.69 per 1,000 gallons, and whereas the Town Board, Town of New Windsor has determined that, at this time, the rate is sufficient in order to maintain financial integrity of a consolidated water district and individual water district. Now therefore be resolved that the Town Board, Town of New Windsor, pursuant to section 28735 of the Town Code, hereby establish water consumption rate for the year of 2020, amount of $6.50 per 100 cubic feet, or $8.69 per 1,000 gallons. Be it further resolved that this rate shall be included in the 2020 standard of schedule of fees. Be it further resolved that said rate shall become effective for the March 1st, 2020 billing cycle.
Move. Second.
Councilman Riggenbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Monroe?
Yes.
Councilman Vizetti?
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago?
Yes.
Supervisor Myers?
Yes. Hearing no objection, Town Board, Town of Windsor shall receive and file from the Port Authority of New York, New Jersey, the attached final certificate of authorization to occupy or use dated December 6, 2019 for SWF, which is the Airport Town of New Windsor Express Drive Interconnect number S0068. That's a receiving file. Another receiving file. Hearing no objection, Town Board, Town of Windsor receive and file the attached notice of claim in the matter of Dahl and Associates versus the Town of New Windsor. That's just a little disagreement we're having with one of our contractors. Receive and file notice of award, New York State Water Infrastructure Improvement Act, grant for Clarkview Sewer Main Replacement Project. Hearing no objection, Town Board, Town of Windsor shall receive and file the attached notice of award from the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation for New York Water Infrastructure Improvement Act, grant in the amount of $392,188 for Clarkview Road Surcharging Mitigation Project, AKA the Clarkview Sewer Main Replacement Project. This is a problem we're having on Clarkview for many years that we're going to straighten out, clear up. Another receiving file. Hearing no objection, Town Board, Town of Windsor receive and file the attached stipulation of discontinuance of the matter of Boone Creek Development versus the Town of New Windsor, so that's settled for now. Hearing no objection, Town Board, Town of Windsor receive and file the attached sewer reallocation agreement dated 31st day of September 2019 amongst Town of New Windsor, Town of Cornwall, acting for itself on behalf of the Majestic Sewer District and Boone Creek Development Limited for the reallocation to New Windsor of 150,000 gallons per day of Cornwall's 200,000 gallons per day of sewer capacity, and the reallocation to New Windsor of 50,000 of Majestic Sewer District's 100,000 gallons per day of sewer capacity, along with the increase in rate charged to developers to purchase the right to such capacity from $12 a gallon to $16. So we're raising that rate a little bit. As you all know, we're in trouble with the sewer plant. We need to do something quick. Another receiving file. Hearing no objection, Town Board, Town of New Windsor shall receive and file the attached sewer allocation agreement dated October 31st, 2019 between the Town of New Windsor and Covington Homes LLC for 320 gallons of daily sanitary sewage treatment for one unit, commonly known as Unit 305, located in development known as Colonial Gate or Covington Estates, formerly known as Covington Estates. Hearing no objection, Town Board, Town of New Windsor shall receive and file the attached limited certificate of allocation dated September 9, 2019 for Mooney Creek Development Limited to Covington Homes LLC for 320 gallons of daily sewage treatment for one unit, commonly known as Unit 305, located within the development known as Colonial Gate, formerly known as Covington Estates. Said certificate of allocation has been consented to by the Town Board, Town of New Windsor on October 2nd, 2019. Chair will entertain a motion. The Town Board, Town of New Windsor adopt an order calling public hearing to be held on February 5th at 7 p.m. in the Town Hall, 555 Union Avenue, to authorize the town clerk to advertise for same pursuant to law regarding the proposed local law to impose a temporary moratorium on all development approvals in the Town of New Windsor in accordance with the resolution and next here too.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Moreau?
Yes.
Councilman Vinetti?
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago?
Yes.
And Supervisor Myers?
I'll be whoever you want me to be. Hearing no objection. Hearing no objection. Hearing no objection, the Town Board, Town of New Windsor shall receive and file the attached correspondence from the Town Clerk to the Town Board appointing the following Deputy Town Clerks for 2020. First Deputy Town Clerk is Jean Marie Ferrone, and second Deputy Town Clerk is Kathy Fogarty. Motion, Chair will entertain a motion, whereas October 3rd, 2018, the Town Board, Town of Windsor appointed David Zagon as Town Attorney, and whereas pursuant to Town Law, Section 24, the Town Clerk, the Town of Superintendent of Highways and Receiver Taxes, Assessments, the Town Engineer, and Town Attorney, whenever appointed, shall hold the respective office until the first day of January next succeeding the first biennial town election held after the time of the appointment. And whereas the Town Board, Town of Windsor wishes to reappoint David Zagon as Town Attorney. Now therefore be resolved that David Zagon be retained as Town Attorney for term of office in accordance with the provisions of Town Law, Section 24.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Moreau?
Yes.
Councilman Vinetti?
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago?
Yes.
Supervisor Myers?
Yes, I'd just like to acknowledge the work that David has done in the last year or so when we had kind of absent town supervisor. He accepted a lot of the work. If it wasn't for him, I think we're going to have a whole bunch of problems. So I'd like to acknowledge that and say I look forward to working with you. And so far, so good. Who knows with me? All right, Chair will entertain a motion. Whereas April 4th, 2007, the Town Board, Town of New Windsor, appointed Jack Finnegan as Town Controller effective April 28th, 2007, whereas pursuant to Town Law Section 23B, and the Town Controllers shall hold office until the first day of January next succeeding first biennial town election, held after the time of his appointment, and whereas the Town Board, Town of Windsor wishes to reappoint John T. Finnegan as Town Controller. Now therefore be resolved that John T. Finnegan be retained as Town Controller for a term of office in accordance with the provisions of Town Law Section 23B.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Raymond,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Detti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes, Jack Finnegan's doing a great job here. He kind of watches the money. He's always telling us we can't be spending all the money we're trying to spend, and we appreciate his efforts. Shall intend a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, appoint Kelly Allegra as the Registrar of Vital Statistics. We'll try it again, Vital Statistics, and set salary $4,000 is budgeted for the year 2020.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Raymond,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Detti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes. I'd like to acknowledge that the town clerk has really picked the ball up and ran with it. Didn't get much help from the former town clerk, and she's kind of doing a great job and does her homework, spent the classes, been working since December, going around to other town clerks, trying to understand the position, and she's pretty much got this under control in a short 10 days. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of New Windsor, appoint Town Clerk Kelly Allegra as FOIL officer to handle all FOIL Freedom of Information Law requests for the year 2020.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Raymond,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Detti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, appoint Town Attorney David Zagon as FOIL Appeals Officer for the year 2020.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Raymond,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Detti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago.
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, receive and file the Town Clerk the appointment of Doreen Casey as a Deputy Controller for 2020.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Raymond,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Detti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes. Doreen also does a great job in our Controller's office, seems to have a handle on everything that goes on in this town. I appreciate her efforts. Here, this is a receive and file. Hearing no objection, Town Board, Town of Windsor. Receive and file with the Town Clerk the appointment of Nancy Wilkins as Deputy Receiver of Taxes for 2020. They're doing a good job in there getting in those taxes. Well, we all love to pay them. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, set the stipend for first Deputy Town Clerk and Deputy Receiver of Taxes at $2,500 annually.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Raymond,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilwoman Detti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, approve the appointment of Police Chief Robert Doss as Civil Defense Director for the year 2020.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Raymond,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Detti,
Abstain.
Abstain.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes. I'd like to acknowledge the efforts of our police chief. He does a great job with his people back there. We have a lot of young officers that need a lot of supervision, and he's accepted that responsibility, and I appreciate everything he does for the town. Thank you, Robert. Okay, appointment of liaison officers. I, George Myers, Town Supervisor, Town of Windsor, hereby appoint the following liaison officers for the calendar year 2020. The ambulance, myself. Highway Superintendent, Steve Moreau. Justice Court, Andrew Riggenbaum. Planning and Zoning, Steve Moreau. Police Department, myself. Recreation Department, Andrew Riggenbaum. Senior Citizen, Sylvia Santiago. Sewer Department, Stephen Bedetti. Water Department, Stephen Bedetti. And Newburgh School District, Councilwoman Sylvia Santiago. Who's pretty familiar with that, right, Sylvia?
A little.
A little. More than you want to be, but a little. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, appoint Glenn Marshall as the Town Historian for the year 2020.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Raymond,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Detti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes, I'd like to acknowledge Glenn. Glenn's a retired New Windsor police officer and really has taken this town historian job very seriously. And the history of anything is important, and he's the guy that keeps reminding us and keeps things from the past. And I appreciate everything Glenn did in the police department and does for us now. Another appointment, the Records Advisory Division. I, George Myers, Town Superintendent of Windsor, do hereby appoint Glenn T. Marshall, Town Historian, Jean Marie Ferron, Deputy Town Clerk, to serve as a Records Advisory Board for the calendar year 2020. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of New Windsor, that the town authorize the retention and accounting firm of Nugent Hauser, PC, 101 Bracken Road, Montgomery, New York, to conduct the annual audit for the Town of New Windsor for the year ended December 31st, 2019, and authorize compensation in accordance with December 13, 2019 retainer letter submitted by said accounting firm and attached hereto. Gotta move this along here.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Riggenbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Monroe?
Yes.
Councilman Videtti?
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago?
Yes.
Supervisor Myers?
Yes. Shall I entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, authorize the supervisor to execute the attached agreement, Mooney Star Services for municipal advisory services as outlined in Appendix A of the agreement 2020.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Riggenbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Monroe?
Yes.
Councilman Videtti?
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago?
Yes.
Supervisor Myers?
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, designate the following banks as the official town depositories: J.P. Morgan, Chase Bank, Manufacturers and Traders Trust, Orange County Bank and Trust Company, Capital One Bank, N.A., and the New York Liquid Asset Fund are all located in New Windsor.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Riggenbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Monroe?
Yes.
Councilman Videtti?
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago?
Yes.
Supervisor Myers?
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, authorize the town supervisor to sign all checks and controller John T. Finnegan to countersign same and permit said supervisor and controller to use facsimile signature when necessary.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Riggenbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Monroe?
Yes.
Councilman Videtti?
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago?
Yes.
Supervisor Myers?
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, authorize the town supervisor and town controller to open time deposit accounts and day of withdrawals with the town's official depositories for the purpose of investing idle funds.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Riggenbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Monroe?
Yes.
Councilman Videtti?
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago?
Yes.
Supervisor Myers?
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, adopt the investment policies and guidelines documented attached hereto.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Riggenbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Monroe?
Yes.
Councilman Videtti?
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago?
Yes.
Supervisor Myers?
Yes, Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, whereas the New York State General Municipal Law, Section 104B, requires municipalities to adopt internal policies and procedures governing all procurement of goods and services which are not required to be made pursuant to the competitive bidding requirements of New York State General Municipal Law, Section 103. Now therefore be resolved that the Town Board, Town of New Windsor hereby adopt the attached procurement policy in accordance with Section 104B of the New York State General Municipal Law.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Riggenbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Monroe?
Yes.
Councilman Videtti?
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago?
Yes.
Supervisor Myers?
Yes, hearing no objection, Town Board, Town of Windsor shall receive and file with the town clerk the attached official undertaking of municipal offices. That's just some coverage for elected officials. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of New Windsor hereby determine that in order to provide for a consolidated schedule for fees to allow for annual review and modification of fees involving the administration of town ordinances, regulations, the town board deems it of public interest to establish and adopt a standard schedule of fees for the town of New Windsor for the year 2020 as attached hereto.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Riggenbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Monroe?
Yes.
Councilman Videtti?
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago?
Yes.
Supervisor Myers?
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, approve the clerical assistance to evening town board meetings and set the salary for same as $90 per meeting for each clerical staff attending, and that said salary shall be paid from the general fund town hall expense.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Riggenbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Monroe?
Yes.
Councilman Videtti?
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago?
Yes.
Supervisor Myers?
Yes, Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, appoint Veronica A. McMillan, Esquire, 299 Windsor Highway, New Windsor, New York, Planning Board Attorney for 2020, effective immediately.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Rigabon,
Abstain.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Detti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, appoint Harry Ferguson, 33 Spring Rock Road, New Windsor, New York, to the Town of New Windsor Planning Board. Term shall commence immediately and expire on December 31st, 2024.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Council Rigabon,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Detti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes, Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, set the salary for chairman of the planning board at $115 per meeting for the year 2020.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Rigabon,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Detti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes, Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, set the salary for the members of the planning board at $80 per meeting for the year 2020.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Rigabon,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Detti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes, Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, pursuant to New York State Town Law 267-2, number 76-53, opinions of the state controller, hereby appoint Jeffrey Chainin, Esquire, as attorney for the zoning board of appeals for the year 2020, effective immediately.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Rigabon,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Detti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, appoint as an alternate to the zoning board of appeals, Suzanne M. Sweeney, 72 Hudson Drive, New Windsor, New York. Term shall commence immediately and expire on December 31st, 2024.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Rigabon,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Detti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, set the salary for the chairman of zoning board of appeals at $115 per meeting for the year 2020.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Rigabon,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Detti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, set the salary for members of the zoning board of appeals at $80 per meeting for the year 2020.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Rigabon,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Detti,
Abstain.
Councilman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, set the salary for chairman and secretary of assessment board of review at $85 each per meeting for the year 2020.
Move. Second.
Councilman Rigabon,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Detti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, appoint the following members to the Bureau of Fire Prevention. All terms shall commence immediately. Steve Sager, Chairman, Vales Gate Fire Department, December 31st, 2022. Sean McGrath, Quusay Fire Department, expires December 31st, 2022. Thomas Johnson, Salisbury Mills Fire Department, and Jennifer Gallagher, civilian member, all expire on December 31st, 2022.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Rigabon,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Detti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes. Chairman, entertain a motion, whereas section 25-9 of the Town Code of Town of New Windsor authorizes in part, town board shall establish a town board of ethics consisting of 5 members, of which at least one shall be a town officer or town employee. And whereas on July 3rd, 2019, the town board appointed Patricia Clarino, 274 Garden Street, New Windsor, New York, as the sole town employee member of the Board of Ethics. Whereas Patricia Clarino has left the employ of the town of New Windsor, which by operation of law has set forth in the Town of New Windsor Town Code, section 20-9, renders her unable to serve on the Town Board of Ethics as a town officer or town employee. Whereas with Ms. Colino no longer serving as an employee with the town, there is currently no town officer or town employee serving on the Town Ethics Board as required under the Town Code, section 25-9. Now, therefore be resolved that pursuant to Town of New Windsor Town Code, section 25-11, Town Board, Town of New Windsor hereby removes Patricia Clarino from the Town of New Windsor Board of Ethics, giving her inability to discharge those powers and duties. Be it further resolved that the Town Board, Town of New Windsor appoint John McDonald, Town of New Windsor employee, care of 555 Union Avenue, to fulfill the remaining term of said office, which shall expire on July 1st, 2022.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Rigabon,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Detti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes. John is our IT head, and he's also an attorney, so he should be a good addition to the ethics board. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, set the mileage rate at 57.5 cents per mile for town officials and employees in accordance with the IRS service allowances.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Rigobon?
Yes.
Councilman Monroe?
Yes.
Councilman Detti?
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago?
Yes.
Supervisor Myers?
Yes, Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, name the Orange County Post as the official town newspaper for 2020.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Rigobon?
Yes.
Councilman Monroe?
Yes.
Councilman Detti?
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago?
Yes.
Supervisor Myers?
Yes, Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, name WGNY as the official radio station for 2020.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Rigobon?
Yes.
Councilman Monroe?
Yes.
Councilman Detti?
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago?
Yes.
Supervisor Myers?
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, adopt the following resolution regarding employee benefits for 6 town of employees, full-time employees, not covered by the labor management agreements or individual employment contracts. Be it resolved that the same benefits set forth in the current CSEA contract shall apply in full to the following employees. Secretary to the supervisor, deputy town clerk, confidential secretary to the highway superintendent, deputy receiver of taxes, deputy controller, and police chief secretary. Be it therefore resolved that this resolution supersedes all previous resolutions, including but not limited to the resolutions dated January 5th, 1972, February 1st, 1978, and June 21st, 1978.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Rigobon?
Yes.
Councilman Monroe?
Yes.
Councilman Detti?
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago?
Yes.
Supervisor Myers?
Yes, this just gives those folks the same benefits that our CSEA represented employees have. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, pursuant to Town Law Section 2916, hereby authorize and delegate to the town supervisor all powers and duties, day-to-day administration, supervision of all town and special districts, facilities, and employees consistent with and in furtherance of any and all state and federal laws applicable herein, and where any and all local laws or resolutions or policies therefore or hereafter adopted by the town board.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Rigobon?
Yes.
Councilman Monroe?
Yes.
Councilman Detti?
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago?
Yes.
Supervisor Myers?
Yes, Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor hereby confirm department head contracts for the following positions: Town Attorney, Town Controller, Chief Information Technology Officer, as authorized by Town Law Section 2916 and previous resolutions of the Town Board.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Rigobon?
Yes.
Councilman Monroe?
Yes.
Councilman Detti?
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago?
Yes.
Supervisor Myers?
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion. Whereas the County of Orange has funds to be distributed to local municipalities for recreational and police purposes for the year 2020, and whereas the Town of New Windsor does wish to participate in said programs. Now therefore be resolved, Town Board, Town of New Windsor, approve the receipt of said funds in a total of $14,024 funded by Orange County Solutions, funding through the Orange County Youth Bureau, which is a summer camp program, $9,024, Juvenile Aid Bureau, $5,000, and authorize the supervisor to execute all necessary contracts and documents with regard to available funds.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Rigobon?
Yes.
Councilman Monroe?
Yes.
Councilman Detti?
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago?
Yes.
Supervisor Myers?
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, authorize solicitor's permit to Doug Perry Jr., Powerhouse Republic Remodeling Group, LLC, Wilton, Connecticut, to solicit free estimates on energy-efficient roofing, windows, siding for residential homeowners in the town of New Windsor. Permits shall be obtained from the town clerk.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Rigobon?
No.
Councilman Monroe?
No.
Councilman Detti?
No.
Councilwoman Santiago?
No.
Supervisor Myers?
No. We don't permit door-to-door solicitations in the town of New Windsor, so that's what that's about. Chair will entertain a Town Board, Town of Windsor, authorize the solicitor's permit to Nicholas Minolatolo to solicit hot dogs, beverages, and snacks at the intersection of New York State Route 207 and Executive Drive in the town of Windsor. Permit shall be obtained from the town clerk's office.
Move.
Roll call.
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Councilman Rigobon?
Yes.
Councilman Monroe?
Yes.
Councilman Detti?
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago?
Yes.
And Supervisor Myers?
Yes, Nick is a veteran, so it's kind of an exemption that they have at the state level, so off he goes with hot dogs. Hearing no objection, Town Board, Town of New Windsor shall receive and file with the town clerk the attached certificate of results of the canvass and ballots cast for the fire commissioners at the annual election of the Crusade Bridge Fire District held on December 10, 2019. Hearing no objection, Town Board, Town of New Windsor shall receive and file with the town clerk the attached certificate of results of canvass of ballots cast for the fire commissioners at the annual election of the Salisbury Mills Fire District held on December 10th, 2019. Hearing no objection, Town Board, Town of New Windsor receive and file with the town clerk the attached certificate of results of the canvass of ballots cast for the fire commissioners at the annual election of the Valesgate Fire District held on December 10th, 2019. Hearing no objection, Town Board, Town of Windsor shall receive and file with the town clerk the attached certificate of results of the canvass and ballots cast for fire commissioner at the annual election of the Washingtonville Fire District held on December 10th, 2019. Hearing no objection, Town Board, Town of New Windsor shall receive and file with the town clerk the attached agreement between the Town of New Windsor and the New Windsor Volunteer Ambulance Corps dated December 19, 2019 to provide ambulance and pre-hospital emergency services to the Town of New Windsor in the period January 1st through 2020 through December 31st, 2020. These guys are doing a great job in our ambulance corps. They just had a call last night where this fellow was just about gone, and they brought him back 5 times, and he kind of made it. So when they show up at your house, they're ready to help you, and we're kind of proud of them. Hearing no objection, Town Board, Town of Windsor shall receive and file the attached Orange County Legislative Resolution number 363 of 2019, providing for the levying of unpaid utility charges on properties in the Town of New Windsor pursuant to the New York State Tax Section Law 198. Well, listen, I'm thinking we should take about an hour and a half break. And we come back about 9 o'clock, finish this. It seems like we've been here a long time.
Can I
We
have a
got
drink
some
of
more to
water
go.
up there?
Huh?
Can I have a drink of water?
Yeah, if you want to take here, do all this reading, it's good for me. Anybody can come up. All right, hearing no objection, Town Board, Town of New Windsor, so receive and file the attached Orange County Legislative Resolution 364, 2019, providing for the levy of unpaid fire inspection fees on properties Town of New Windsor pursuant to the Town of New Windsor Town Code Section 300-81D. Those two list receiving files, the county makes the town whole. When someone doesn't pay us their taxes, we send the bill to the county, then the county sends us the money, and then the county forecloses on the property. So we have to make sure that we send all these unpaid bills to the county so we get our money. Hearing no objection, Town Board, Town of New Windsor shall receive and file the attached consent to discontinue and cancel Les Pendants order to demolish and remove a structure pertaining to 202 Passaic Avenue. Hearing no objection, Town Board, Town of New Windsor receive and file the attached general release and settlement agreement between Magnum Condomex Corporation and Titan Demolition and Salvage LLC in the matter of Magnum Condomex Corporation versus Titan Demolition and Salvage et al. In resolution mechanics lien against the contract filed in relation to the prior demolition of 10 town buildings at Stewart International Airport. This has been a nightmare for us. Those 10 buildings that were demolished out there caused us nothing but grief, and it's still going on. It cost us lots of money. Hearing no objection, Town Board, Town of New Windsor shall receive and file the attached stipulation of discontinuance action with prejudice against defendants in the matter of Magnum Commerce Corporation and Titan Demolition and Salvage LLC et al. In resolution of mechanics lien filed against the contract for the prior demolition of those same town-owned buildings owned at Stewart International Airport. Hearing no objection, Town Board, Town of New Windsor shall receive and file the attached satisfaction of mechanics lien for account of public improvements from Magnum Commerce Corporation as it pertains to mechanics lien filed with the Town of New Windsor on or about the 24th day of July 2017 against the monies due to Titan Demolition and Salvage LLC for a project known as demolition debris removal, 10 town-owned buildings at Stewart International Airport. Once again, I give our town attorney a big attaboy for getting this stuff under control. It's been nothing but a mess. Hearing no objection, Town Board, Town of New Windsor shall receive and file the attached notice of claim in the matter of Jessica De Jesus as mother and legal guardian of E.J. Julian, a minor, versus the Newburgh and Lodge School District, City of Newburgh, County of Orange, Town of New Windsor, and Town of Newburgh. This was a little girl who was injured on a playground at the school district's property, so why we're involved, I have no idea. Hearing no objection, Town Board, Town of New Windsor shall receive and file the attached notice of petition in the matter of Stephanie Lynn Palmer versus the Town of New Windsor Zoning Board of Appeals. It has to do with a woman who is not happy with a resolution that the zoning board gave her, so using her right, she has appealed that from Article 78. Hearing no objection, Town Board, Town of Windsor shall receive and file the attached stipulation discontinuing dated October 10th, 2019, and filed in Orange County Clerk's Office 18th day of November 2019 in the matters of Town of Windsor versus the City of New York, City of Newburgh. So we sued the city, it sues us, and we stopped it. Hearing no objections, Town Board, Town of Windsor shall receive and file the attached amendment and extension agreement effective July 1st, 2019 through June 30th, 2020 between the County of Orange, Town of Windsor, extending the term of the contract for the Community Development Block Grant for the fiscal year 2018. Program funding for St. Joseph's Drainage Improvement Project Phase 2 through June 30th. This is the money we get from the Community Development Grant that we're not laying out of our own pocket to fix some problems in town. Hearing no objection, Town Board, Town of Windsor shall receive and file the attached municipal cooperation agreement between the County of Orange, Town of Windsor dated November 26, 2019, for the Community Development Block Grant fiscal year 2019 program funded for the Stonecrest Drive, Hilltop Drive drainage project. Once again, that's some CBG money we're getting to fix some problems. Hearing no objection, Town Board, Town of Windsor receive and file consent and agreement regarding lease dated October 30th, 2019 between the Town of Windsor and Amazon.com Services Incorporated for property located at 500 Hudson Valley Avenue, New Windsor, New York. Amazon's anxious to come into town with kind of like a distribution center. Not done yet. They have some planning board things to do, but they're interested in getting in here at the airport. Hearing no objection, Town Board, Town of Windsor receive and file a release of sublease and successor under sublease agreement called November 12, 2019 between the Town of Windsor and Tut Hill Finance, LP, releasing and discharging the sublease and successor subleasee and permitting the assignment of a sublease to property located at 108 World Trade Way, New Windsor, New York, to 108 World Trade Way. This is our property at the airport. No matter who leases it, we still collect the money. Hearing no objection, Town Board, Town of Windsor receive and file the Town Clerk the attached 2019 annual reports of the Town Clerk, Building Department, Fire Prevention, and Recreation Department. This is some official reports. The following reports were received and recorded and filed with the Town Clerk. Justice Court, Noreen Calderon. Justice Court, George Myers. Police Department, Recreation Department, Tax Receivers Utility Report, and Town Clerk, all of December 2019. Okey dokey. Now we're going to open it up to the public for public comment. Before we do that, I just want to ask any of the board members if they have anything that they'd like to put on the table.
I just want to address Mrs. Joseph. I actually spoke to a gentleman in your neighborhood, Mr. Dutton there, and I actually called the city of Newburgh. I spoke to the post office again, and they're aware of it and working on it. I can't get them to go any faster there for their mail.
I appreciate it, thank you.
No problem.
Okay, over here?
Nothing.
Listen, I'd just like to make one comment. We're live streaming tonight, so everything's going out live, and we've posted the agendas early. I think the workshop agenda was up, what, Thursday, Friday, Patrick?
Friday.
And Friday, and this town board agenda was up, I think, Monday. So we're trying to get a little bit ahead of the curve. And I asked the IT department, Patrick in particular, to put something on our website that the real discussion is held at the workshop. When we have the workshop, which is the Monday before the town board meeting, there's a lot of discussion between myself and these 4 board members as to what we're going to discuss at the town board meeting. So it looks like, okay, everything's yes, everything is yes. Well, what happens during the week leading up to this, I give them almost every piece of paper that comes across my desk. And then we establish a workshop agenda. So if you really want to know what's going on, I would show up at the workshop. This is kind of a formality that goes on here. The only thing that's really worthwhile is that you're able to make any comments. But I think at the workshop you would hear these folks speaking up and putting their thoughts into what we're doing. We're trying to be very open. I have an open door policy. I'm available for phone calls. My cell phone's on the internet. I think it's on the website. It's on my Facebook. So you're always able to get a hold of somebody. You may not always like what I say, but you will hear from me, and I will answer your question. And if I don't have the answer, I'll get it, and I'll get back to you. Anita, I was going to speak to you during this portion, but Mr. Bedetti has already spoke to you. So if you need to talk to me any further, you can contact my office, and I can gladly talk to you, and we'll involve ourselves in your issue.
Thank you.
Okay, that being said, anybody who wants to make any comments at all, come on up to the microphone, speak. All right, Don, you be first, you next.
First of all, I'd like to congratulate you, George, here. I think you did a good job the last time, and I think you'll do a great job this time. I think you have a good board working with you. You have 3 gentlemen over here that have done a tremendous job for, I don't know how long now, but I think you're going in the right direction, and hopefully everything really works out for you.
I appreciate that. Yeah, these guys do it. I mean, these are the guys who do the work. Yeah, I mean, we're not, they're the guys who get things
Well,
done.
I know the 2 guys over here, but, you know,
Yeah. Well, these new members, and you'll see that they're accessible, you can get a hold of them, and it's
Yeah.
not a problem.
yeah.
Okay.
And also, I'm on the ethics board,
Right.
and I hope all you, board members there can work with the ethics department. Any problems you have, you can bring to me, you can bring to George or whoever there, and we'll handle it.
Thank you.
But thank you very much.
Thanks, I appreciate your service on that ethics board, by the way. Sandra?
My name is Sandra Kassam. I reside in the town of Newburgh. I'm here because I feel that many of the actions that are taken in the town of New Windsor, if not all, have an impact on the town of Newburgh at all, as well. We have really a regional community here, and what we do at the end of one end of Union Avenue affects what happens at the other end. So, although I'm a town of Newburgh resident, I'm very interested and concerned. I want to say that my first item that I had meant to bring up is already answered, which is that you have a public comment period at the front of the agenda so that people can address items on the agenda. And I think this is a very fine thing, and I commend you with maintaining that. Having said that, my main concern in being here this evening is to ask you about the moratorium as it affects a project that is out on Route 207. It's known as the Stewart Hills Development Project. Does this moratorium affect that project? Depending on your answer, I have some other remarks I want to make about that.
No, they have their planning board approved, they've already started to do some site work out there, so they would not be affected by the moratorium.
Well, then, I would like to say that, given the fact that the local residents have filed a legal action challenging the validity of the planning board's approval, that there should be a waiting period before action is taken. In effect, literally, the development company is undercutting the process. There have been many papers filed by the residents who live in the area challenging the way in which the planning board has handled this project. There's a great deal of question about the propriety, if not the legality, of what they have approved and when they have approved it. And I think, having looked at some of these documents myself and having a great concern with the fact that that neighborhood is still relatively rural, I think it would be very, very important to make it necessary for any site work to be discontinued, because site work is in essence action on the project when the project is in dispute, Mr. Supervisor.
Okay.
And so my message to you this evening is, I think that it would be very valuable and very important for you to intervene and to ask, request, or do whatever you feel is useful to have this site work discontinued. Much of the town is well developed, parts of the town are not, and there is something to be said, I'm sure you will agree, for keeping portions of the town relatively undeveloped. And I would suggest that this area fits that description. And I ask you on behalf of the many, many neighbors there who have been concerned with this for months, if not years, that you intervene in this site work and attempt to put an end to it. And that's my request to you this evening.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, and thank you.
Okay, anybody else? That it? Chair will entertain you want to speak, miss?
Yeah.
Okay, sure, come on up.
Hello, how are you guys tonight?
Good. You?
My name is Kimberly Youngster-Dyke. I live at 8 Bikes Mill Lane in Rock Tavern. And
What's
I
the
just-
address?
8 Bikes Mill Lane.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to bring to your attention, I'm sure you guys all know, the Apple Ridge project that's going on. So, I've spoken in front of everyone before and to everyone here, and some new people are here now, so I just wanted to bring it up again, that if there is any way that you guys could step in and represent the residents in the area on their water treatment facility plant that they're putting in. They own a lot of property there that they're not using now, and the original plans had the water treatment facility set back off of the residents that had already been there for some time now. And we're just hoping that maybe we can revisit that and see if there is a way to move it away from the residents that are currently there.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? All right, Chair, will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, close the public forum.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Riggenbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Moreau?
Yes.
Councilman Mazzetti?
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago?
Yes.
Supervisor Myers?
Yes, listen, I just want to address a couple of those things now that it's closed. I'll go backwards. Apple Ridge, I'm very, very, very familiar with that. I've done some site visits with Councilman Bedetti. We're aware of this water treatment plant issue. I don't know if it was you I spoke to, but I spoke to someone on the phone. And I have a file in my office, and the planning board knows that we're gonna take a hard look at that. And they probably will fall into the moratorium that we're looking to do in February. So I just want to assure you that I am very aware of what's going on out there.
Thank you.
Okay? Sandra, I got a call, I had a visit from a couple of people from that Stewart Hill who filed the legal papers, and I did some research, and I told them that they are fully within their rights, unfortunately, to do site work. They can do no building. So the gentleman, I'm trying to pull his name up, but I spoke to so many people, I can't remember. He called me back and said he spoke to Michael Sussman, and Michael Sussman said, he's right. Site work, no building. So that's another project that's kind of going, and it's approved. The only thing I've assured the people out there that we will watch what's going on. So there's only so many things that we as a town board can do, because if we overstep our authority, we get sued. And if we lose, you lose. So I don't really in the business of losing court cases. So we keep an eye on people, we hold our feet to the fire, and I'm very aware of what's going on. And these guys all live here. Sylvia, Steve, Andrew, Steve, and they come to me with different issues that they hear out there about different projects. And I'm right on the phone with the building inspector, and we keep a good eye. And once people know you keep an eye on them, then they play by the rules. So that's all I can assure you, that I am personally watching all of these projects. I live here too, and I see what's going on, and I'm not happy. So we have very serious water issues that I'm sure everybody knows that we're in the process of addressing. We have a probably as serious, if maybe not even more serious, is the wastewater treatment plant, the sewer plant. We're in desperate shape down there. The state of New York is chasing us around very hard. And once they start finding us, we'd be in very, very, very deep trouble. So I just assure you that what's ever gone on before doesn't go on anymore. All right? I'm here. I'm watching the storm. I'm going to do the best I can. And these guys are very much on board with me. So I just want to say that and appreciate you guys coming here. And what's that last motion? My God. Motion what? Number what?
83.
83. Okay. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, adjourn the Town Board reorganization meeting at, hold on, this is very important, at 7:58 p.m.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Riggenbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Detti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago.
Yes.
Supervisor Marshall.
Before I say yes, my wonderful secretary has a poll going, what time this would end. We actually had some town employees saying 9:30. It was 7:58 for those who want to get the free lunch. I vote yes too, and thank you very much for coming.